Hey everybody, what I want to do today is post a 12-week video or training plan with the goal of accomplishing a sub 2-hour half marathon. Now this program could be great for a number of people. Be somebody who's run a marathon and whose half marathon equivalent is about 2:20, 2:15 or somewhere higher than that, and whose next goal would be to get down to 2 hours, which will in turn help them run a faster marathon, or somebody who's recently run a beginner's or first-time marathon who now wants some structured training, or even somebody who's been running shorter races and wants to move up and try themselves in a half marathon. Okay, so it can benefit a lot of folks, and I'll just give you a couple of heads-ups. It's broken down into pieces. Okay, I've got 3 blocks. Okay. 5 weeks, 5 weeks, and 2 weeks, and you'll see some different patterns of different training. First 5 weeks, you'll see some short accelerations and hill running, and then you'll see threshold running and hill running, and then a 2-week drop-down taper phase to get you ready to actually race. Okay, I don't have any other races plugged in aside from the half marathon, so this program you can modify any way you like if you decide you plug in a race at a certain point midway or a couple weeks in. This is also a great fitness indicator for something moving forward. If you want to go back up and run a marathon, this is a great starting platform as well, because you'll have built up a decent amount of running for long runs and so on and so forth. So let's get to the training. Okay? Week 1, Monday you're going to run 4 miles. Tuesday, 2-mile warm-up, drills and strides, 8 by 100 meter uphill runs. It's going to be a gradual uphill. Okay, nothing crazy steep. You're focusing on high knees, running off the balls of your feet, leaning into the hill, maintaining good posture and stride efficiency. Okay, since it's a half marathon, I encourage you to keep it as aerobic as possible. So if you can, I would jog down the recovery rather than walking down, if you can. Okay, then a 2-mile cool down. Wednesday is going to be a bike and cross-train day. Anytime I have a bike and cross-train day, and you'll see I have one every other week structured into the program, it's going to be about 30 to 40 minutes in duration. Anyway, mix it up any way you like. Thursday is going to be 4 miles. Friday, a 3-mile brisk pace run, a little bit faster than your easy runs, okay, with 6 by 150 meters on the flat, just for turning over, some speed development with a jog equal recovery, no specific time goal. Saturday is going to be a 5-mile long run rolling, okay, over rolling terrain. And then Sunday is going to be an off day. Sometimes you'll see rolling long runs in the program. Sometimes you'll see flat long runs. What I encourage you to also do before we go any further is check out the course map if it's available and see what the half marathon looks like, because it'll help you simulate whether it's a long run or a workout. You want to try to simulate that race as best you possibly can so that you're on a caught by surprise come race day. So just as an FYI, I encourage you to do that. Week 2, 4 miles on Monday. Then Tuesday, 2-mile warm-up, drills and strides. Now we're going to complement the uphill runs with some flat running. Okay, so it's 8 by 200 meters with a 100-meter jog at 5K race pace. And in this pace, since it's a sub 2-hour half marathon using running calculators, it equivalates to 5K pace being about 8 minutes to 8:10-ish per mile. 8:10 to 8:20, excuse me, about 8:20 per mile. So the 200-meter repetition is going to be 101 to 102 per rep. Okay, with a 2-mile cool down. 4 miles on Wednesday, 4 miles on Thursday, and then Friday you can do a mile warm up. Okay, drills and strides. We're going to go 2 by 1.5 miles with a 3-minute recovery at goal half marathon pace, which is 9:05 to 9 minutes per mile. And then we're going to run 4 by 200 meters at 3K pace with a jog equal recovery, which is 101 to 1 minute per rep, so slightly faster than 5K pace. And just as you notice, I don't know if you have noticed, but 9:05 to 9 minutes is a little bit faster. 2 hours on the dot is 9:09 per mile, training you to have a little bit of wiggle room to run about 157, 158. Okay, if you can get to that point where you have some wiggle room, you're in good shape. Okay, I have a 2-mile cool down, 6-mile long run on the flats. Sunday off day. And you'll notice I have an off day plugged in every single week on a Sunday. Week 3, 4 miles on Monday. Tuesday, 2-mile warm-up, drills and strides. And if you do have a routine that you do drills and strides prior to this, I encourage you to keep doing that. 8 by 200 meter uphill, so going back to the uphill now. 8 by 200 meter uphill run, so we got a little bit longer now. Jog equal recovery, 2 mile cool down. I want to try to maintain the same type of running rhythm as you do on the flats when you're going up on the uphill. I want to try to keep a smooth rhythm as possible so that there's not very, constant fluctuations in your rhythm and having to slow down and to accelerate, slow down and accelerate. We already know that you'll slow down going on the uphills, but if you can maintain your stride pattern as much as possible, better off you'll be going up and going down and going back in the flats. Okay? Bike and cross train on Wednesday. 4 miles on Thursday. Okay, and then on Friday, we have a 4 mile brisk run now, so we added a mile to that brisk run. Okay, and then you have 6 by 200 meters with a jog equal recovery at 3K pace. So going back to 3K pace is 101 to 1 minute per rep. 8 mile long runs, we brought it up a little bit. The 7th mile is going to be a goal half marathon pace, 9:05 to 9 minutes. The rest of it's just at a steady, relaxed pace, 10 to 10:30 per mile. Okay. And that's going to be rolling. So we're alternating rolling long runs and flat long runs. Off day on Sunday. Week 4, 5 miles on Monday. Tuesday, a 2 mile warm up, drills and strides. Then you have 6 by 400 meters on the flats with a 200 meter jog recovery at 5K pace. So going back to 203 to 205 per rep. So 812 to 820 pace per mile. Okay. 2 mile cool down. So, and then a 4 mile easy run on Wednesday, 4 on Thursday, and then on Friday, 1 mile warm up, drills and strides. And I'm going to go 3 consecutive miles at half marathon pace, 9:05 to 9 minutes per mile. Take a 3-minute recovery, and then 5 by 300 meters with a 200 meter jog at 5K to 3K race pace. So it will be between 132 and 130 per rep, and then you'll take a 2 mile cool down. And then a 6 mile flat long run on Sunday, a little bit short, Saturday, a little bit shorter than the week prior, and then an off day on Sunday. So notice we've alternated some uphill runs with some flat runs, uphill and flat, all of which are shorter than 400 meters. So we're focusing on speed development. And the same fast twitch muscle fibers that you use running on the uphills, you also use on the flats, particularly with fast sprinting. Okay, so let's take this down. Okay, let's bring the next one up, the next block of 4 weeks. Week 5, going back to the uphill running again. Okay. Monday's 5 miles. Tuesday, 2 mile warm up, drills and strides. 6 by 400 meter uphill runs. Okay, I'm getting a little bit longer. Matching the 400 meters on the flats from the prior week. With the jog equal recovery. Uphill run gets a little bit tough at 400 meters, so I encourage you to try to stay as rhythmic as possible. Okay, your heart rate will go up significantly. Jog down nice and easy. Take your time. Okay, but this is going to help develop. It's going to help develop leg strength, and it's going to really help boost your aerobic threshold as well. Okay, and then a 2 mile cool down. Biking cross train on Wednesday. 5 miles on Thursday. Friday, 1.5 mile warm up, drills and strides. Now we're going to go 2 by 2 mile. With a 3-minute recovery at half marathon pace, 9:05 to 9 minutes, with a 1.5 mile cool down. So we've introduced quite a bit of half marathon pace training, gradually building out a little bit more of it over time. Okay, then an 8 mile long run rolling on Saturday, and then Sunday's the off day. Now it's time to introduce threshold training for the next about 5 weeks or so. Week 6, 5 miles on Monday. 2 mile warm-up, drills and strides, 6 by 800 meter reps with a 1-minute recovery at threshold pace, which, based on a 2-hour half marathon, is 423 to 420 per rep, which gives you about 840 to 846 per mile. Faster than half marathon pace. Threshold training is faster than half marathon pace. Okay, all the reps will be relatively short. Not that long, at least no longer than a mile for this training. And then 6 by 100 meter strides, by field, jog equal recovery. Just open up the legs and get you turning over after doing a hard bout of training. The goal is to get you turning over when your legs are already fatigued. 2 mile cool down. 7 miles, so notice that we're building up a second run that's going to be long. The goal is to have you on your feet consecutively for an extended period of time twice per week. It helps with half marathon training, helps with marathon training as well. 5 miles on Thursday, 5 by 50 meter strides. 3 miles on Friday. Saturday, a 10-mile long run, and you're going to run miles 6, 7, 8, and 9 at goal half marathon pace, 9:05 to 9 minutes. So rather than doing a workout where the beginning part is half marathon pace, now you're running a long run where the end part is half marathon pace. You need to know what the pace feels like from the beginning to the middle to the end. So runs like this are very helpful. Okay? Sunday's an off day. Week 7, 6 miles on Monday. Tuesday, 2-mile warm-up drills and strides. Then we're going back to the uphill runs again. 8 by 400 meter uphill run. So we've added 2 reps, okay, to the uphill running. Jog down, recovery, and then 5 by 50 meters on the flats to help turn the legs over when they're already fatigued. Hill running will fatigue the legs. 2-mile cool down. Bike and cross train on Wednesday. 7 miles easy on Thursday with 5 by 50 meter strides on the flats. And then 3 miles, just 3 miles easy on Friday, so you had 3 nice recovery days. And then on Saturday, we're going to do a 12-mile long run. Okay, this is as long as we'll get for the half marathon, for this particular half marathon training. It's going to be rolling, 5 by 100 meter strides on the flats afterward. Again, turning over when you've done a lot of running. It'll also help simulate accelerating towards the end of a race. Jog equal recovery. Off day on Sunday. Week 8, 6 miles on Monday. Tuesday, 2-mile warm-up, drills and strides. 6 by 1,000 meters with a 1-minute recovery at threshold, which in this case is 5:26 to 5:22. It's the same exact pace as the 800 meter reps. We're just getting a little bit longer. So we're increasing the amount of running you're doing at threshold pace. Okay. 5 by 50s on the flats, 2-mile cool down. Threshold running is good because you can increase the amount of volume that you do a lot easier than you can increasing the amount of harder running that you do, or reps at, say, 6 times 1,000 with a 1-minute recovery is easier to recover from than 6 times 1,000 with 3 minutes recovery at a much harder pace. You can really increase the volume here. Okay. 8 miles on Wednesday, 6 miles on Thursday, 5 by 50 meter strides, 3 miles on Friday. Saturday, we dropped down a little bit. It's a 10-mile long run. And within the long run, we're going to do a little bit of fartlecking, okay? You're going to do, and I would encourage you to get about 3 miles of running before you start this. 4 by 6-minute efforts, okay? It's going to be timed efforts at goal marathon pace, 9:05 to 9 minutes. You can go by feel if you don't have a Garmin or something like that. If you only have a stopwatch, it's fine. You're going to take a 200-meter jog recovery, and if you don't have a Garmin, about a minute recovery. And then afterward, you're going to do 4 by 200-meter reps with a jog equal recovery, again by feel, approximately a 5K to 3K pace, so about a minute on, and then a minute easy, minute on, minute easy. And then that's going to be mid-run, so I would encourage you to get about 3 miles of running in before you even start that. And then you continue on and finish the run at a steady pace. Sunday's an off day. Okay. Let's take this down. Let's go to the last 4 weeks. Okay. Week 9, 6 miles on Monday. Tuesday, 2-mile warm-up drills and strides, 5 consecutive miles now at half marathon pace, 9:05 to 9 minutes per mile. You're going to take a 3-minute recovery, then 5 by 200 meter efforts with a jog equal recovery at 101 to 102 per rep, about 5K pace. 2-mile cool down. Bike and cross train on Wednesday. Thursday, 8 miles, and then 4 by 100 meter uphill plus 4 by 100 meter flat. Doing some transitional here, adding some uphill and some flat. A little bit of a different dynamic. And we're doing it after the run. Jog equal recovery. 3 miles on Friday. Saturday, the second 12-mile long run. This one, we're going to run the 10th and the 11th mile at 8:45 to 8:40 per mile, which is a little bit closer to 10K race pace. Which will help get a feel for what it's like to run faster than half marathon paces. In some cases, you will be finishing faster than half marathon pace. Okay, and then Sunday's going to be an off day. Week 10, 5 miles on Monday. Tuesday, 2-mile warm-up, drills and strides. And then we're going to do 6 by 1,200 meter at threshold with a 75-second recovery. So we added 15 seconds on the recovery as the rep got longer. At 6:31 to 6:26 per rep, the same exact pace as the 800s and the 12 and the 1000s were. I'm going to take 3 minutes after the last one, and I'm going to go 4 by 400 meters with a 200-meter jog recovery at 2:02 to 2 minutes per rep with a 2-mile cool down. Okay? And then 8 miles on Wednesday, 6 miles on Thursday, 4 miles on Friday with 3 by 100 meter uphill and 3 by 100 meter flat. We took 1 rep away from the uphill and the flat running from this week to that week. Jog equal recovery. Okay? Saturday, 10-mile progression long run. You're going to go from the easy running pace, about 10:30 per mile, all the way down to 8:50 per mile. Go by feel. Okay? Let it take you along. Drop 10 or 15 seconds every couple of miles. Okay? Sunday's an off day. Week 11, okay? And just as an FYI, you just passed your second block of 5 weeks, which is the most intense block of training. Now we're just going to do maintenance and tapering for the last 2 weeks. 5 miles on Monday for week 11. 2-mile warm-up, drills and strides on Tuesday. 3 miles at half marathon pace, 9:05 to 9 minutes. Rest 4 minutes, and then we're going to do 2 times 1 mile repeat with a 3-minute recovery in between at 8:39 to about 8:35, or 8:40 to 8:35 per rep. And then you're going to do 4 by 100 meter flat strides afterward with a jog equal recovery. Let's get the legs turning over. 2-mile cool down. Bike and cross train Wednesday. Thursday 6 miles. Friday 4 miles and 4 by 200 meter reps. Jog equal recovery at 1 minute and 58 seconds now. You'll be fit enough now to be able to run a little bit faster than 3K pace for the reps. 8-mile long run, so we're cut back the long run again on Saturday. And you're going to run the 7th mile at about 8:40 to 8:30 per mile. Okay, nice hard mile. Okay, and then finish off with an easy mile. Sunday's the long run. Sunday's the off day. 12th week, race week. 4 miles on Monday. Drop down the volume a little bit. Okay, 2-mile warm-up on Tuesday, drills and strides, and we're going to go 5 by 800 meter reps with a 2-minute recovery after each rep between 4:32 and 4:20, which is about 9:05 to 8:40 per mile. Okay, from half marathon drop down to a little bit faster than half marathon pace. If you're feeling good, run under 4:20 for the last rep. 2-minute recovery, 2-mile cool down. Bike and cross train on Wednesday. Off day on Thursday. I put an off day on Thursday here, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Easy 2 to 3 mile run with a 3 by 50 meter strides on Friday. Saturday's go time. Warm up just for 5 to 7 minutes. This half marathon will likely be in the fall if you're going to be following this plan moving forward. So the weather will be a little bit cooler. So by running set 5 to 7 minutes, it just helps get the body temperature up. Helps to prepare you a little bit better to first starting the half marathon. Then you run the half marathon, and I also encourage you to cool down for 5 to 7 minutes afterward. Okay. Easy 2 to 3 mile shakeout on Sunday, just to flush out the legs from the half marathon. Half marathons and marathons take a little bit longer to recover from. And if you run the day after, help flush out some of the junk in the legs, even if you plan on taking the following week off or running very easy for the following week or two. Okay. Now let's get back to this. Most half marathons fall on Saturday. Some do fall on Sunday, in which case I would move the off day. But in this particular situation, I have the off day on Thursday. The reason why is because if one of the things I've noticed over about 20 years of coaching is taking off the day before a race tends to throw the legs or can throw the legs off rhythm. Okay, so by giving you an off day 2 days out and running very easy the day before, you keep your legs into a running rhythm. Okay, the last thing you want to do is be off sync or out of sync on race day. Okay, that's why I do that. You'll never see me give an off day the day before a race or a very, very hard workout or a very, very long one. I want you feeling good on those days. So that's the 12-week program. I hope this is helpful. Again, tailor it to your liking, to your preferences based on your training environment, your lifestyle, whether it be you or the athletes that you're coaching, ability level, training partners or lack thereof training partners, work schedule, personal life, a lot of factors that factor into this. Okay, modify it any way you want. But this program will definitely act as a nice template or a good guide for you to utilize moving forward. So again, I hope it helps. Please drop a comment down below if you have any feedback or have any questions. I hope that the content's valuable enough for you to subscribe to my page. I want to continue sending out more running content. So please please subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. Just click the button and like as well. My Instagram page is Black Belt Running Coach. I drop a lot of running content on there as well. If you have any questions of a specific nature or would like some more personal guidance, don't hesitate to email me at blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. Good luck. Good running. We'll talk to you soon.